Tesla just made a massive announcement during a joint live stream with SpaceX. Elon Musk revealed something called the Terra Fab, a brand new chip factory being built in Austin, Texas, and he called it the most important thing happening across all of his companies right now. Here's how he opened it up.
A profoundly important announcement to make, which is the most epic chip building exercise in history by far. This is really going to take things to the next level. So, yeah, a level probably people aren't even contemplating right now.
And he's not exaggerating, because the Terrafab isn't just about chips. It's directly connected to Optimus. Right now, Optimus Gen 3 is in mass production at the Fremont factory. Tesla shut down the Model S and Model X lines to make room for robot manufacturing. These robots are already working inside Tesla's gigafactories around the clock, sorting battery cells, moving parts, learning new tasks every single day. And Gen 3 is about to get a major upgrade with new hands that have 50 actuators and can do over 3,000 different tasks. Tesla's target is 1 million robots per year from Fremont alone. And Giga Texas is being prepped for even bigger numbers. But here's the problem. Every single one of these robots runs Grok AI on a chip inside its body. Every Tesla car on the road needs chips for self-driving, and Elon just revealed a third use for chips that's even bigger than both of those combined. When you add all of that up, the world doesn't make enough chips. Not even close. And Elon has been saying this to every chip company on the planet. Listen to what he told them.
We certainly want our existing supply chain to be clear. We're very grateful to our existing supply chain, to Samsung, TSMC, Micron, and others, and we would like them to expand as quickly as they can, and we will buy all of their chips. I have said these exact words to them, but there's a maximum rate at which they're comfortable expanding, but that rate is much less than we would like, and so we either build the Terrafab or we don't have the chips. And we need the chips, so we're going to build the Terrafab. And we're starting off with an advanced technology fab here in Austin.
So the entire chip industry gives Tesla 2% of what it needs. That's why the Terrafab exists. But it's not just about making more chips, it's about how they're made. See, normally building a chip is a slow process that bounces between different companies in different countries. One company designs the chip, another one makes the templates. A foundry like TSMC builds it. Then it gets shipped somewhere else for testing. Change one thing in the design and you wait months. The Terrafab puts everything in one building, and that changes the game completely. Here's Elon explaining what makes it different from anything else in the world.
Where you've got everything necessary to build logic, memory, and do packaging, and test it, and then do the masks, improve the masks, and just keep looping it. So, and we're not just going to do conventional compute in this. I think there's some very interesting new physics that is potentially, that actually I'm confident will work. It's just a question of when. So this is we're really going to push the limit of physics in compute. And we're going to try a bunch of wild and crazy things, which you can do if you've got that fast iteration loop. That I can't emphasize enough the importance of being able to make a chip, test it, and then change the design, do another one, and have that in a single building. I think that our recursive improvement with that situation is probably an order of magnitude better than anything else in the world.
Design a chip Monday, build it midweek, test it, fix it, build the next version by Friday. That kind of speed means Tesla can try experimental designs that nobody else would risk. Because if something doesn't work, they just run it again. No waiting, no shipping overseas. Now, here's what the Terrafab is actually producing. 2 completely different chips built for 2 completely different jobs. And Elon broke both of them down during the live stream. Pay close attention to the numbers he gives here.
So broadly speaking, we expect to make two kinds of chips. One will be optimized for edge and inference. So that'll be used primarily in Optimus and in the cars. but especially in Optimus, because I expect the robots, humanoid robots, to be made 10 to 100 times more than the volume of cars. So, you know, if vehicle production on Earth is about 100 million vehicles a year, and I expect humanoid robot production to be somewhere between 1 billion and 10 billion units a year. So it's a lot.
1 to 10 billion robots per year. That's more robots every year than there are people alive, and every single one needs a chip that can run Grok AI locally, right inside the robot's body. That's what an edge inference chip does. Think of it as a tiny brain. The robot doesn't need Wi-Fi to think. It doesn't call a server somewhere. It sees, it processes, it acts, all on its own. That's what makes Optimus independent, and that's what makes it useful in a factory, in your home, or eventually on another planet where there's no internet at all. Now, when you're building 1 billion of these robots, you need 1 billion of these chips every year. That alone is more than the entire chip industry can handle. And that's just chip number 1. 1 to 10 billion robots per year. Does that excite you or terrify you? Tell me in the comments. The second chip is designed for a completely different environment, space. And Elon explained exactly why during the live stream.
We need a high-power chip that is designed for space, that takes into account the more difficult environment in space, where you've got high power, you've got high energy ions, photons, you've got electron buildup. It's a hostile environment in space. So you want to design the chip, you want to optimize it for space. And you also want to generally run it a little hotter than you would normally run a chip on Earth to minimize the radiator mass. So there are just a bunch of constraints that you design something differently in space than you would on the ground. And for the space compute, my guess is that is the vast majority of the compute, because you're power constrained on Earth. That's why I think it's probably 100 to 200 gigawatts a year of terrestrial chips, and probably on the order of 1 terawatt of chips in space, just because of power constraints on the ground. That's probably how it ends up.
So most of the chips from the Terra Fab aren't going inside robots, they're going to space. And there's a really good reason for that, which brings us to the biggest part of this entire announcement. Now, before this makes sense, you need to know what happened behind the scenes. In February, SpaceX officially bought xAI, the company that makes Grok. That deal was worth $1.25 trillion. Tesla also invested $2 billion into xAI. So now Tesla builds the robots and the chips. xAI builds the AI brain. SpaceX builds the rockets. All three companies are working together on one thing: scaling AI as big as possible. And Elon believes the biggest opportunity to do that isn't on Earth, it's above it. And once you hear his reasoning, it actually makes a lot of sense.
Space has this advantage that it's always sunny. It's very nice. I actually think that the cost of AI and deploying AI in space will drop below the cost of terrestrial AI much sooner than most people expect. I think it may be only 2 or 3 years before it is actually lower cost to send AI chips to space than it is on the ground. Because in space, you don't need much in the way of batteries because of it's always sunny. And the solar power, you're going to get at least 5 or more times the solar power you get in space versus the ground, because you don't have atmospheric attenuation or a day-night cycle or seasonality. And you're always normal to the sun. So you're really maximizing the solar power at that point. And the space solar actually costs less than terrestrial solar because you don't need heavy glass or framing to protect it from extreme weather events. So as soon as the cost to orbit drops to a low number, it immediately makes extremely compelling sense to put AI in space. It becomes a no-brainer, basically. Moreover, as you go to space, you get increased economies of scale, and things get easier over time, whereas as you try to put more and more power on the ground, you run out of space. And you start using up the easy spots, And then you get next level NIMBY. Nobody wants the thing in their backyard. So actually increasing power on Earth becomes harder over time and more expensive over time, but in space it becomes actually cheaper and easier over time. These are very important points.
That's the argument. On Earth, the more you build, the harder it gets. In space, the more you build, the easier and cheaper it gets. Everything flips. So how do you actually get chips and solar panels into orbit? Elon showed what those space AI units will look like and how Starship makes the whole thing possible.
So this gives you sort of just a sense of scale. We've got Optimus there, Optimus for scale. Optimus is about 5'11", so it gives you a sense of the size of the Starship V3 rocket. Starship V4 will be much longer, actually. The Starship V4 will make Starship V3 look kind of short. So we'll expand with Starship V3 to 200 tons of payload to orbit from 100 tons with V3. And then you can see that that's just a rough approximation of the mini version of the AI sat. So that's roughly 100 kilowatts. It's showing the solar panels and the radiator to scale. So for some reason, there's been a bizarre debate about radiators in space. It's safe to say SpaceX knows how to do heat rejection in space with 10,000 satellites in orbit. Might know a thing or two. So you can see the radiator is actually quite small relative to the solar panels. And we call that the mini-sat, since that's just 100 kilowatts. We expect future satellites to probably go to the megawatt range. Yeah. So in order to get to the terawatt of compute per year, you need about 10 million tons to orbit per year, and at 100 kilowatts per ton. So, but we're confident this is feasible. Like no new physics or impossible things are required to get there. So I'm confident actually that SpaceX will get to 10 million tons to orbit per year. And then we're building up to a terawatt of solar. So that will solve the solar problem, the power generation. So then the key missing ingredient is therefore a terawatt of compute. So this announcement is about solving the key missing ingredient.
So the satellites already have a design. The rockets already exist. 10 million tons per year is the target. And Elon is confident no new physics is needed to get there. It's just a matter of building the chips, which is exactly what the Terra Fab is for. But even a terawatt of compute in space isn't the final goal. During the live stream, Elon revealed what comes after that. And this is honestly the wildest part. He's talking about building something on the moon that could make this entire project 1,000 times bigger.
With robots, with Optimi, and obviously lots of humans, and with that you can send a petawatt. You can create a petawatt of compute and send that to deep space. Because on the moon has no atmosphere and has 1/6 Earth gravity. So you don't need rockets on the moon. You can literally accelerate it to escape velocity from the surface. And that dramatically drops the cost, once again, of harnessing power and enables you to go 1,000 times bigger than a terawatt. So for sure, the future I want to see, I want to just live long enough to see the mass driver on the moon, because that's going to be incredibly epic. Yeah. That should hopefully get us to 1/millionth of the sun's energy, at least. Humbling to think about that. But 1/millionth of the sun's energy would be 1,000,000 times bigger than Earth's economy, so
Optimus robots on the moon, building a giant electromagnetic rail that launches AI hardware into deep space without rockets. That's the long-term plan. And everything we just talked about, the Terra Fab, the edge inference chips, the space chips, the AI satellites, Starship, all of it is building toward this moment. And the future Elon described at the end of this live stream? It's the kind of thing that'll either give you chills or make you think he's lost his mind. Maybe both, but hear him out.
Sustainable energy, space travel, and AI and robotics that bring amazing abundance to everyone. It's really the only path to amazing abundance is AI and robotics, which is not to say it can't go wrong. Hopefully, but I think it'll probably go right, and it'll be a future that you love. It's the best future I can think of, at least. So. And then we go beyond the moon, beyond Mars, and we sail through the rings of Saturn. Now, wouldn't it be amazing if you could buy a trip to Saturn? Or, frankly, if you just have a trip to Saturn, I think things will just be free in the future. It sounds nuts, but if you've got an AI robotics economy that is anywhere close to 1 million times the size of the current Earth economy, literally any need you possibly want can be met. If you can think of it, you can have it. So I think Ian Banks, in his culture books, has it pretty much right, where there actually isn't money in the future, and there's abundance for everyone. If you can think of it, you can have it. That's it. Which means anyone could have a trip to Saturn. It won't be just a few people. If you want it, you can have it. Yeah. So, join us on this journey and help us design incredible chips and make incredible chips and build a terawatt of chips, a terawatt of solar, and 10 million tons to orbit per year.
Elon says everything will be free in the future. Do you actually believe that? Or is it just a billionaire fantasy? This one's going to split the comments. Pick your side. Whether that future is 10 years away or 50, the pieces are actually moving right now. Optimus Gen 3 is in production. Grok is running inside every unit. SpaceX and XAI just became one company. The Terrafab is under construction. Starship is flying. And for the first time, all of these projects are pointed at the same goal. It starts with a chip factory in Texas. And if Elon's right, it ends with humanity spread across the solar system.